The reason I want to share this is because when you're having conversations with clients, or you're having conversations with a with an athlete or with your coach, if you're getting the same results, it's because you're not focused on the right thing. You're not tackling the right issue. Oftentimes well, we think we're dealing with the issue, but we're not. Good day, everybody. Ian here. Today, I want to talk about the conversations that we're having in and out of the affiliate. So this could be conversations for anybody trust me, anybody in your life, but anybody specifically with regards to affiliates. So it could be coaches, athletes, teammates, could be, head coach to coach. It could be affiliate owners to clients. It really doesn't matter who's in these conversations. If you know where you are in any given conversation, you'll be able to better navigate what you need to do next in order to have better outcomes or different outcomes. So what I want to introduce you to is the conversation model that I've been using in my coaching, as well as what I think you could be using in any conversation that you've got going on in your life today. And my goal here is to not only introduce it to you, kind of teach it to you a little bit. I'll try to give you an example on how it can serve you and how it can serve the people in your life, so that you can start to adopt this and then improve the situations that you've got going on. So it's called the conversation model. And in any conversation that you're having, regardless of who you're having the conversation with, there are three different conversations going on at any given time. There are conversations for relationship, conversations for possibility, and conversations for action. And because we live in a very action-oriented, fast-paced world, we tend to focus on the action conversation. I got to get it done. I don't have any time. I mean, I had no choice. And you just kind of continue to just focus on action, 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 action. Now, when you do that, and if you're happy with the results, keep on doing you, keep on keeping on. But if you're not happy with the results and you want something different to take place, you need to do something differently. We've all heard the definition of insanity. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, you're going to be sadly disappointed. So if you want things to change, you need to change how you have those conversations. And what you need to start doing is start having those conversations for relationship, conversations for possibility, and then move into action when it makes sense. So conversations for a relationship, it sounds touchy-feely, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. Okay, so conversations for a relationship is to mine out what's important to this person, get clarity on why that's important to them, and focus on where they want to head, their ultimate destination. Once that's super crystal clear, you move into conversation for possibility, where you are able to come up with innovative solutions, new ideas, and things like that. From there, the action is almost seamless. Like, it just kind of makes sense for what you need to do next, and then you get different results. But if in this process at any point you realize that you're either doing the same actions or things aren't working out, it's because you haven't really mined out what's important in that relationship conversation. So this is what we call resistance. And you'll see on the diagram that I put up on the screen that we have resistance in these conversations as well. And if you encounter resistance, that's your invitation to go back a level in your conversations. So just as a quick example, if you're at a bar and you meet somebody and you go in, you ask them out too early or something like that, you are going to encounter resistance. You are going to get smacked in the face. You're going to be shot down, whatever the case may be, right? Because you went to action too soon. So that's an invitation to go back to either explore more possibilities or explore the relationship more, to explore what's important, why is it important to that person, and where do they want to end up at the end of the day. Once that's super crystal clear, we can move through the other two. Now, the reason I want to share this is because when you're having conversations with clients, or you're having conversations with an athlete or with your coach, if you're getting the same results, it's because you're not focused on the right thing. You're not tackling the right issue. Oftentimes we think we're dealing with the issue, but we're not. Let me try to think of an example here that I can relate to CrossFit. All right, so let's choose a potential client that's coming into your gym as an example. And they say they have a goal of losing 50 pounds. Okay, so that's what they say it is. And then as the coach, you just dive into, okay, this is what we got to do. These are your choices. So these are the possibilities. You can do this track or this track or this track. We've got our nutrition program. We've got our personal training program, and we've got our group classes, whatever the case may be. Right. And then you dive directly from there into the action. Right. So you've basically skipped the relationship conversation. You've gone straight to possibility and action. And the likelihood of this working out is probably kind of low because we haven't actually asked any questions about what's important to this person, why do they want it, things of that nature. So we go straight to possibility. Those possibilities are really kind of narrow. We go to action, and then maybe they stick around for a little while, maybe they don't, maybe they quit, and maybe you don't even understand why they quit. Okay. So that's the action that you don't want. The action that you do want is sustainable. And it's only sustainable if you've had that conversation for relationship, to find out what's really important to this person. Why do they want to lose the weight? And get really clear and focused on what those things are. So this, it might have nothing to do with really wanting to getting in shape. It might have to be with something way deeper, way more personal, about wanting to feel more sexy and feel loved by their partner and things like that. So it's without having the conversation that needs to happen in the depth that needs to happen in the relationship conversation, you will be actually focusing on the wrong thing to get the result that they're looking for. So you need to be clear on those things, then move into possibility. So if you knew that it was really because they wanted to feel more content with themselves and their body, you might want to focus more on something that isn't completely centered around the personal training. Maybe it's more about self-esteem and some self-help things, or maybe getting a personal coach to work through some of those issues, all while working on their nutrition and working on getting them moving and moving well, so that the possibilities are built on and focused on achieving results that are related to what's important to them and why it's important to them. By doing that, also you really tap into the fuel source for them to keep them going when things get a little rocky or a little rough. You've also then built the relationship where they are comfortable going back to you to have that more in-depth conversation when they need to adjust things or shift things around. So you have your relationship, you have your possibility, and then the actions will flow almost seamlessly from those possibilities. And then you get the results that you're ideally looking for. And if you aren't having exactly the results you're looking for, they're probably closer. And then you continue to have that relationship conversation. You continue to dive a little bit deeper. You continue to be of better service to the people in your life. I'm trying to think of a personal situation where I knew in myself that I wasn't focused on the real thing. So whatever, for whatever reason, muscle ups is coming to mind. Being able to get ring muscle ups. I attained ring muscle ups for a very, very short period of time a couple of years ago, and I haven't had them since because they're so slow in the turnover and the catch. It's amazing I caught any to begin with, and I caught all of them basically on the same day. So I had a desire to do it, and I practiced a little bit, but my reason why I wanted them wasn't strong enough. So it didn't matter how often I went back to the coach to say, "Hey, what's wrong with my muscle up? Why? Let's work on this." Um, I was going straight to action in order to get the result that I wanted, but I wasn't getting the result. And then they're like, "Oh, why don't you just get some personal training around that?" And I'd be like, "Ah." So they're going to action in their conversation as well, saying, "Why don't you get more? Why don't you just get some personal one-on-one coaching on that?" But if I go back to my conversation for relationship in my head, I know I wasn't committed to it. I thought it was a cool thing to do. I wanted to get some so I could improve my scores in the open. Um, but at the time, money was really scarce, and I didn't want to pay for additional training that I couldn't afford. So them pushing me to action, saying, "Hey, get more personal training," and coming back to me there, it was short circuiting the conversation that I needed to have. I needed to go a little bit deeper in my conversation for a relationship between my coach and myself, to uncover that it was just kind of a cool trick to have in my back pocket. It doesn't change my life at all in the least. I'm not going to the games. I'm not going to go compete anywhere that's of any great magnitude. Um, and I wasn't committed to wanting to pay more money than I could afford to try to get something that wasn't going to change my life. So getting super clear on what you want, why you want it, and what you're committed to doing in that conversation for relationship is critical for your success. So if you know where you are in these conversations, you know where to then go. Do I have clarity for myself and for the person I'm talking to about what they're committed to doing, why they're committed to doing it, and what's important to them? Have we explored all the possible solutions that are out there? And have we are we addressing that in the action that we're taking? And then seeing where things lead us from there. And if you encounter resistance at any step along the way, it's an invitation to go back a conversation. And almost always it'll take you back to the conversation for relationship where you're uncovering the what, why, or what they're committed to doing. And then from there, you have everything you need to create innovative possibilities, have new ideas, and then take some sort of action from there. So if you want to learn more about this conversation model and how you can apply it to your life, in your affiliate, outside your affiliate, in your CrossFit team, in your relationships outside the gym, shoot me a DM, send me a message, send me an email, and I'll be sure to get in contact with you, and we can talk about what that could look like and how I can maybe help you with that. But until then, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.